fẹ́ máa wò ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́ ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. ètò láti fi mo fẹ́ máa wò ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́ ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para àjànà kú kọjá mórí nǹkan fèrè bàbá rere káwí parí BGI TV we are the pace setter. Bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ tẹlifíṣọ̀n station tí dòde.
Mo kí gbogbo ojú tó ń wò mí káàkiri ayé, mo kí wa lọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lọ́mọdé lágbà nínú ilé yìí. Mo kí wa pa kú dédé àsìkò yìí àsìkò bójú ọjọ́ ti rí ẹdẹ ọdún bí bọ́ọ̀ ló ti rí lọ́dọ̀ ti yín o. Ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé tàbí kẹ́ fìdílé nǹkan. Kẹ́jẹ́ àjọjẹ̀ gbádùn ètò ọ̀rọ̀ tó lọ tòní tá a mú wá sí ojú ìwòran yín. Oníyanṣẹ́ ọlọ́kà ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń bá wa wò ní gbogbo ìgbà tẹ́ ń bá wa wo ṣánẹ̀lì wa gbogbo yín náà la dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ o. Ojú tẹ́ fi ń wò mí òkú ní fọ́ etí tẹ́ sì fi ń gbọ́ mi ò ní di lágbára Ọlọ́run ọba Olódùmarè. Ohun tá a mú wá lónìí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa tá a sọ̀rọ̀ wọn náà ni ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní. Gbogbo wa náà kú ti mọ̀ pé àbọ̀rẹ̀ wa kọ́ ni wọ́n tí wọ́n sọ pókú bí tí Yorùbá fẹ́ gbà ṣùgbọ́n lọ́wọ́n bọ́ gbé wa jẹ́rí wọn lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ohun tí fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ lónìí ẹnìkan ló sẹ́ǹdì fídíò yẹn sí mi lánàá ó ní bàbá gbàgede ó ní ẹ̀wọ̀ ń tà tó fojú rí o ẹwà wọn tí wọ́n tún ṣí wọlé bí mo ti ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí gbàgbèje Fúlàní ló tún ti wọ Nàìjíríà wá lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ láìsí barricade láìsí security kan tó lè dá wọn dúró ẹnikẹ́ni ò dá wọn dúró o Davido ti ní ẹ má dá mi dúró o èmi ọmọ bàbá olówó kò sẹ́ni tó dá wọn Fúlàní ìdúró. Benin Republic ni wọ́n gbà wọlé wọ́n wọlé lógúnlógún wọ́n wọlé lọ́gbọ̀nlọ́gbọ̀n láìsí ẹnikẹ́ni tó dá wọn dúró. Thousands of Fulanis ni wọ́n tún gba Benin wọlé. Ẹ jẹ́ n fi fídíò yẹn hàn wá náà kí n wá sọ ọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí.
Ta wani sabon rahoton bincike na kungiyoyin da ke sanya idanu kan harkokin tsaro da kuma ta'addanci a yammacin Afirka ya ce 'yan ta'adda masu
ẹni sínsì Haúsá tó sọ ohun tó sọ ni pé láti Benin ni wọ́n gbà wọlé sí Nàìjíríà. Inú mi dùn kó sọ specifically ibi tó ti ń bọ̀ ó dẹ̀ sọ specifically ibi tá à ń wò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yẹn pé Nàìjíríà ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wò.
Ya ce 'yan ta'adda ta wani sabon rahoton bincike na kungiyoyin da ke sanya idanu kan harkokin tsaro da kuma ta'addanci a yammacin Afirka ya ce 'yan ta'adda masu ikirarin jihadi da ke da alaka da kungiyar Al-Qaida na kwarara zuwa Najeriya musamman daga jamhuriyar Benin. Rahoton da haɗin gwiwar kungiyoyin suka fitar ya ce wannan kwararar 'yan ta'adda ta fara ne tun bara inda suke yada zango a gabar tafkin Kayenji da ke gab da babban gandun daji na kasar guda daga cikin guraren da ke da matukar hadari a fannin tsaro a Najeriya. Wasu mazauna kusa da yankin sun shaida wa manema labarai cewa wannan waje da ke matsayin ɗaya daga cikin guraren da ya fi tara zakuna a nahiyar Afirka na rufe sama da shekara guda saboda ayyukan 'yan ta'adda da ke harar ƙauyukan da ke kewaye da wajen. Kafin wannan lokaci dai wajen na zaman wajen yawon buɗe idanu amma a yanzu ya zama matattarar 'yan ta'adda da suka mayar da shi wata cibiyar da suke tsara har-haren da za su kai sassan ƙasar da kuma makwabta.
Ṣé rí wọn tológun tẹlẹ́ṣọ̀ ni wọ́n fi wọlé. Lánàá ní Sultan of Sokoto sọ pé lákàjáde ní Sultan of Sokoto ti sọ pé after 1 decade that is 10 years kógun Fúlàní kó tó di ṣíṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà gbogbo àná fi ti gbọ́ nígbà tí bàbá yẹn ta àkàjáde kó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwa sọ pé ìbéèrè tèmi ni pé ṣé bá ṣe máa lọ rí ṣé bá ṣe máa lọ ní tààrà bí máa tún wọlé tí wọ́n máa wọlé wá báwọn ọlọ́pàá ṣe rọ́wọ́ tó àwọn tó ń rọ́wọ́ tó nú wọn làwọn míì náà tó ń replace ara wọn sí. àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní bọ́dà wa kí ni wọ́n ń ṣe? ṣé gbogbo inúgbó bọ́dà yẹn kò sí àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣọ́ ni? tó bá gba bọ́dà wọlé gangan ṣe báwọn inúgbó kan leak sí Nàìjíríà ṣe gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ náà dẹ̀ láwọn agbófinró tí wọ́n ń ṣọ́ rárá. bó bá wá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ it means pé ẹ̀mí wa kò safe despite gbogbo security ta ní. Kò sí iye number of army tá a lè ní Nàìjíríà plus air force àti navy ká wá mú police àti civil defence mọ́ kò sí bọ́n ṣe lè pọ̀ tó. in as much tá a bá ti barricade the border wa fún àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe banditry láti wọlé, tá a bá ti lè barricade the border wa agbára àwọn agbófinró wa ò lè ká, torí wọ́n máa pọ̀ sí ní nọ́mbà ni instead of them to be reducing. bọ́n bá ṣe mọ́ ọkàn balẹ̀ làwọn kan ṣe máa rọ́ wọlé sí i. tó bá yá àwọn agbófinró wa wà exhausted. àwọn tá a dẹ̀ sọ yìí wọ́n ń wọlé tí nǹkan ìjà olóró ni. ẹ wo bá ṣe dìmọ́ra ogun àbẹ̀yìn náà ẹ wo bọ́n ṣe tó. àwọn sẹ́ẹ̀tì kan tó rèé o tó tún máa tọ̀mẹ́ǹtì Nàìjíríà láìpẹ́ àti Nigerians. bọ́n ṣe ń wọlé láti Benin yẹn sí níbo lámọ̀tàn bá wọlé bó lámọ̀tàn wọlé sí ṣé north ni àbí south west bí níbo ló súnmọ́ Benin jù? kì í ṣàwá south west ni Lagos and Ogun. a sì gbọ́ nínú voice tẹ́ni yẹn ṣe sí fídíò tá a wò yìí wípé through Benin ni wọ́n fi wọ Nàìjíríà. Definitely Ogun State and Lagos State to save. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wọlé sí Nàìjíríà through Benin either Ogun State tàbí Lagos State ló máa bá wọlé. So are we safe? That is my question. ẹ̀yin agbófinró wa, ẹ̀yin governors wa, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà níjọba, mo gbé fídíò jáde fún yín láti investigate how true what we had, how true it is. ohun tá a wò yẹn báwo ló ṣe dóòtọ́ sí? voice tá a gbọ́ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ tó ń lọ nínú ẹ̀ yẹn ṣé nìyẹn sòótọ́ àbò parọ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni làwọn tá a wò yìí bá wọ Nàìjíríà? tó bá wá lọ dóòtọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀yin governors wa ló jẹ lógún báyìí láti mọ bó làwọn ẹni ìwọlẹ̀ sí ní Nàìjíríà. ó di dandan ká mọ ibo ni wọ́n wọlẹ̀ sí nísìn. ṣé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà wọlẹ̀ sí ni àbí ilẹ̀ Haúsá náà wọlẹ̀ sí? what is their mission here? onídìí ká béèrè what is their mission àti mọ̀ntán bá wa. wọ́n ti rí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí wọ́n ti rí Nàìjíríà bíi cash cow. wọ́n rí bí ilẹ̀ ibi tí ilẹ̀ gbé lójú, ibi tí ilẹ̀ ọlọ́ràá, wọ́n rí bí ilẹ̀ ọlọ́ràá tó jẹ́ pé iṣẹ́ ìjínigbé ìgbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹni ó ti di lucrative job fáwọn oníkálukú. And then gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tó lọ ó ṣòfínlẹ̀ fún wọn pé ẹ free láti wọ Nàìjíríà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ kó sá ti jẹ́ Fulani gbogbo yẹn máa bọ̀. So Nigeria is a home for them. Homecoming ní bọ́n ṣe ń wọlé yẹn irrespective of country tó nǹkan ti wá. àyè tí wọn ò rí ní country wọn tán ti ń bọ̀ wọ́n ń rí nísìn ní Nàìjíríà. Other African countries ni wọ́n lára wọn ò fẹ́ kí wọ́n establish ìlú àwọn, ṣùgbọ́n Nàìjíríà à welcome wọn ni. à ń bọ wọn, à ń sìn wọn bí ẹni sẹran, à ń bọ wọn bí ẹni bọṣọgbò. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni they are now first class citizen, ẹran wọn second class citizen. torí nǹkan kan ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe ẹran wọn, nǹkan kan ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe àwọn fúnra wọn. ariwo táwa mẹ̀kúnnù ń parí tó bá tẹ̀ débi nìkan ní wọ́n fi pa wá ìbàdà. wọ́n dé wọ́n kó ebi wọ̀lú nípa ìpa gbogbo àgbẹ̀. wọ́n á ṣe àgbẹ̀ léṣe, wọ́n create fears fún àgbẹ̀ láti lọ dáko ní season tó yẹ kán dáko. àsìkò tó yẹ kán máa kó irè wọn ò ní rírè kó. oúnjẹ wa bẹ̀rẹ̀, ẹ̀hàn gógó oúnjẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀. oúnjẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní hàn nílùú, ó affect, ó cause inflation, hyperinflation pàápàá, inflation lábẹ́rẹ̀, ó dé nǹkan tí yàn mú. Bó bá ní 1000 lọ́wọ́ láyé àtijọ́, wá jẹ wá mú, ìyàwó á jẹ ọmọ á jẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n láyé èsì kí ni 1000 rà? Bóyá a plate of rice, a plate of rice of má retí kó gbé síbí mẹ́ta nú ẹ̀ o, rice 1000. Bẹ́ẹ̀ láyé ìgbà kan ike rice méjì wá ṣe ìránú 1000, ike ìjọba rice méjì wà ránú 1000 tó tún máa gbà ṣéǹjì. Lẹ́nìí a plate of rice nílé olóúnjẹ, ẹni bá fẹ́ jẹ lájẹyó ó gbọ́dọ̀ ní 3000 lọ́wọ́ at least, láì tí ìṣẹ̀rán bẹ̀. And thanks to these Fulanis, torí pé àwọn àgbẹ̀ tó fagídí lọ dáko pàápàá wọ́n destroy oko wọn ni, àwọn tí tó wọ́n wá ká mọ́kó wọ́n pakúpa ni. So gbogbo àgbẹ̀ ti panic, wọn ò lọ sóko mọ́. Sani ti kọrin yẹn gbà kan, kò ságbẹ̀ mọ́ lóko, ará oko ti darí wálé. Àwọn àgbẹ̀ gan ti ń sá kúrò lábúlé. Ọ̀nà dàkíyàn má mọ̀. Of recent mo rí tí wọ́n gbé tí mo ráwọn kan tó ń protest lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ebi ń pa wá, ebi ń pa wá. Ó ti wá di common slogan láàrin ìlú sí, ebi ń pa wá. Mo tún ṣe insist dáná òde yìí, àwọn tí wọ́n kọ lẹ́tà, àwọn tó ń kọ message mi lánàá tí mo fún lówó, they are 20 in number. Ẹ tí mo fún kéré jù ni mo fún 10,000. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ mo send owó sí lánàá, tẹ́ ẹ bá wà lábẹ́ ẹ tí ẹ má kọ torí mi kò ní dá káyé mọ́ ìná, ẹ má wọrí. But wọ́n tó bá ń wò mí, àwọn kan claim pa àwọn wò bí mẹ́rin sọ pa àwọn wò mí live. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń wò mí, ẹni pé mi ò parọ́. Nígbà mo ti fi léde títí tí mi ò rí káwọn èèyàn fi bẹ́ẹ̀ dá mi lóhùn, mi ò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ rí káwọn àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan ni wọ́n ń fún mi nìkan. Èmi náà ti gba kámú, ìpè tèmi náà nìyẹn. Mi ìwúlẹ̀ nídìí kí n máa send account mọ̀, kò need. Ntẹ́mi náà bá rí màmá fáwọn tí wọ́n bá ń béèrè. People they are writing me every day. Àwọn èèyàn ebi ń pa wọ́n. Ebi ń pa àwọn èèyàn. Díẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ọkọ, díẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ àlè ni, díẹ̀ ló jẹ́ pé lọ́wọ́ ìjọba. Púpọ̀ nínú ẹ̀ Fúlàní ló túbọ̀ kọsẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ìjọba la máa blame, because àti Fúlàní o àti factors ìjọba, kí ni ìjọba ṣe lé lórí láti stop ẹ̀? Èèwọ̀ ni kí bàbá sọ kó dọwọ́ ọmọ òun lọ́rùn. Ìṣòro Sani kí erin tó máa sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ dẹ̀ dọwọ́ ẹ̀ lè rí o, erin kó máa sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ dọwọ́ ẹ̀ lè rí o, ìwé ẹ̀ lè rí wá gbèjà mi erin, ṣó tọ́ sí erin láti máa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀? Ṣèbí giant of Africa náà pè wá. Kí ló dé tó jáwọn Africa countries tó kù tá a ti jù sẹ́yìn tipẹ́, wọ́n ti lé wa mú, wọ́n tó ti jù wá lọ. Kí ìjọba ṣe sí? Sọ́ọ́rí ebi ń pa wá táwọn èèyàn ń pariwo yìí. People are really hungry. I must confess to you. Àfikún máa mọ nọ́mbà ẹ̀. Àti tó wá fọ́nì tì mí ni pé báwo làwọn èèyàn ṣe máa ń tiẹ̀ mọ nọ́mbà tèmi ní òye mi. Ta ló ń fún wọn nọ́mbà mi? I want to know. Ọlọ́run má ṣàyọnu sí wa. Afọ́k tí àwọn Fúlàní ti cause ní Nàìjíríà ṣe o and nílẹ̀ Yorùbá in particular kò ṣeé fi ẹnu sọ. They have imposed security, they impose threats to our life. Kò sí oúnjẹ, kò sí gbogbo nǹkan ní ọ̀jẹ̀ kó wà. Ẹ máa fojú ara wa rí, wọn abẹ́ oko lọ bó ṣe wọ̀n, oko tẹ́ni ẹlẹ́ni fi agún ara gbìn, ẹlòmíì ya owó ni, ẹlòmíì àdókò ẹ̀ báyìí àdákù ní straight. Ilẹ̀ á ti mọ́. Láwọn abúlé kan tí mo mọ̀ báyìí, wọ́n ti sọra wọn di vigilante, wọ́n kì í súnmọ́, wọ́n ṣe vigilante ìgboro, vigilante inú oko tí wọ́n dáná dẹ̀ ń ṣe ń sìn. Toróòrù ni Fúlàní fi kó ẹran lọ́bẹ̀, wọ́n á jẹ́ dáa. Kẹ́ tó mọ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ kílẹ̀ tó mọ̀ ẹ̀ ti wá gbogbo oúnjẹ ẹbẹ̀ tì. gbẹ̀jẹ̀ látago mẹ́jọ wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé kó sàgbẹ̀ tó máa dago mẹ́jọ sóko wọ́n wá kó màálù wọn wá lásìkò yẹn wọ́n á jẹ okó kò sí wọn kó yẹn ṣe lè tóbi tó wọ́n á jẹ okó yẹn tílẹ̀ máa fi mọ́ ni wọ́n á dẹ̀ jẹrun àgbẹ̀gbọ́n adébẹ̀ àdákù ni adébẹ̀ àdákù ni pé oko tó sì wà lórí ìdúró lánàá bí tinú mi ti ń dùn sí àwọn ọ̀gá wa wọ́n á ti palẹ̀ mọ́ kílẹ̀ tó mọ́ mo mọ àwọn abúlé kan tó jẹ́ pọ́n ti di fìjìláńtè bẹ́ẹ̀ sìn wọ́n ti lọ ṣe fìjìláńtè nínú oko wọn tó sunlé mọ́ nígbà bá ṣe láàárọ̀ títí dìrọ̀lẹ́ wọ́n á lọ lé lọ jẹun nígbà bá ti dá lọ wálẹ̀ wọ́n á darí sóko wọ́n á wá sápamọ́ sóko tí wọ́n bá ti ń gbọ́ tí fúlàní kan bá tẹ̀ ti gbọ́ pé wọ́n ṣe kúrúkúrú ló pa sá padà kò ní kó ẹran jẹko tán bá ní lọ́kì torí fúlàní àkámi ìmọ̀kó bẹ́ aṣá apá síbẹ̀ kó tó jẹ oko ẹ̀ a lè máa lọ báyìí ló fà á ní Yorùbá fi sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tá à ń sọ yìí ṣọ́ṣe gbọ́ sétí nílùú tó lọ́ba tó níjòyè gbogbo wọn destroy oko tá à ń sọ yìí kì í ṣe ilẹ̀ Haúsá o nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí wọ́n bí wá sí lórí ilẹ̀ táwọn ẹni àwọn míì fowó wọn rà àwọn míì jogún ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wọn làwọn lẹ́yìn ilẹ̀ wọn ní o ní Fúlàní kó máa lùwà jẹ àwọn náà tó ti wọlé bíbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ wò yìí ṣáàtọ̀ ti rógò ṣáàtọ̀ ti gbàbó kí làwọn agbófinró wa ṣe táyé lè tó fi penetrate wọlé ọ̀dọ́ wọn náà ti ṣòfin sẹ́ pẹ̀lú Fúlàní free láti wọlé bàbá wa Tinubu àtẹ̀yìn 10th Senate ẹ bá wa yí òfin yẹn padà kẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ̀ ṣòfin débi pé no more Fulani should be allowed in Nigeria again láti wọlé àwọn tó wọlé àti gbà wọ́n yẹn bọ́ àwọn míì àwọn tuntun míì wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ tó wọ Nàìjíríà mọ́ ṣé lè dá tìbọntìbọn ṣé lè gbọ́dọ̀ pàdé èèyàn lọ lọ́nà lẹ́yìn tó bá yín patán wá tó ṣe jẹ àbẹ́ẹ̀rí wọn ni ẹ̀wọ́n ṣe rí Tinubu ni wọ́n fi wọlé fọ́sọ̀kan wọn balẹ̀ àní wọ́n lọ yídì tó lọ yìí wọ́n lọ yídì wọ́n dẹ̀ tún fi hàn gbogbo ayé pé àwọn táwọn jágbé nípa rẹ̀ o àwọn lọ yídì o mo rí fídíò yẹn níjọ́ kan mo mirí títí pé ó mà ṣe o káwọn air force gbọ́ bí tán ti ṣe yídì yẹn kọ́ ju bọ́ǹbù lé gbogbo wọn lórí kí wọ́n parun tán ní Sàfàrà wọ́n lọ yídì wọ́n tún ṣú ẹ̀ sí gbogbo ayé òfojú ara mi wo fídíò yẹn tínú wọn dùkùlà wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ní túnú àwẹ̀ wọ́n tún ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ní Iléyá tó lọ yìí táwọn náà lọ yídì àwọn apààyàn àwọn panipani Ọlọ́run gan kù sùúrù ó yẹ kó lọ́jọ́ náà lé wọn lórí níbi ìtẹ̀líjà yídì tọ̀nà wà yẹn kọ́ lọ́ fìbínú ẹ̀ hàn wọn pé mo bínú sí yín sẹ́ẹ̀ èmi kọ́ lẹ̀ ń sìn níbi tẹ́ wà kó wá rọ̀jò náà lé wọn lórí kí náà yẹn jó gbogbo wọn rún wo ohun rẹ̀ á dáa fún ẹ ṣé wọn o òṣèlú bá gbé sí bá gbé yídì yẹn sí káwọn èèyàn wò.
It's a video of Omo. The video you are watching here, this video that you are watching, it's a video of bandits celebrating their Eid, like celebrating their Salah. They released this video. Bandits releases video of them celebrating their Eid in Zamfara State. This is Zamfara State. Nigeria is a cruise. Now, pay attention because this is where the news gets very interesting. This place, this community is a Muhaye community. It is just 30 minutes or 40 minutes away from Gusau, where you have the NAF base, the military base, the police base, and the DSS. All these bases, you have them in Gusau, just 30 or 40 minutes away from where this video was released. Nigeria is a cruise. We are a cruise, gradually becoming a bandit nation. Check the audacity for me alone. The audacity for them to release this video tells you a lot. That nothing will happen. The audacity alone is a slap to this government. It's a slap to us as a nation. It's a slap to Nigeria as a nation that bandits will release video without even considering, oh, we're going to be tracked, we can be tracked, we can be... No. They're not even checking about that one. Because they know that nobody is going to come after them. Just imagine. Check. Release video. Them celebrating their Eid. I think if the North is ready to end, banditry will end. That's the truth. If the North is ready to end banditry, but because this is just almost a full community. This is just one. Like, what is the difference between this one and just this is just one.
Yídì lẹ́rí tí wọ́n wà yẹn yídì kárí àwọn Air Force wa kí wọ́n ju bọ́ǹbù lẹ̀ sí orí wọn kí gbogbo wọn jóná kú àti ṣẹ́gun pààtì kan nínú àwọn ọ̀tá wa nìyẹn Sanfara làwọn eléyìí wà tó ti ṣe yídì àwọn tó tún ṣẹ̀ wọlé yẹn sìn bólámọ̀ tán lọ àwọn eléyìí ní sìn bólámọ̀ tán lọ tẹ́rùtẹ́rù gan ni wọ́n wọ̀lú tẹ́rùtẹ́rù làbùké ń wọ̀lú níbo làwọn agbófinró wa wà táyì lè fi wọlé where are they? Where are they? Our borders are too porous. Tó bá dá àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbé ráìsì wọlé sí wọ́n á mú wọn á kíákíá ni wọ́n ti máa rá wọn yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀rá ilé ìnísìn tó ń wọlé o fàyàwọ̀ ni wọ́n dúró ṣọ́ ní bọ́dà wọ́n ọ̀ṣọ́ Fúlàní tó ń wọlé lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ fine a gbà pé wọ́n gba ojú ọ̀nà wọlé inú igbó náà gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe bọ́ mú ráìsì tó ń gba inú igbó náà kí ló dé tó máa wẹ̀ léyìí ìbáwọn ní ráìsì náà gba inú igbó tán dẹ̀ mú wọn kí ló dé tó máa wẹ̀ léyìí ẹ̀yin agbófinró wa nígbà tí ẹ ṣe dáadáa ta rí fídíò tẹ ṣe dáadáa lánàá mo yìn yín dáadáa pẹ́ ṣeun ṣe rí gbogbo ilé ìlú ẹ̀ má gbà wọ́n láyé o àmọ́ stéètì tí wọ́n wọ̀ ní ìsìn a kàn rí pé wọ́n wọlé adẹ̀gbọ́ nínú ọ́díò tán ṣe inú ẹ̀ pé Benin ni wọ́n gbà wọlé sí Nàìjíríà níbo ni wọ́n wà ní Nàìjíríà we don't know, we cannot say. mi expect kí lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o àwọn ammunitions tá a rí lánàá yẹn àti arms tá a rí lánàá yẹn ṣe bí irú àwọn tó ń lò náà rí irú àwọn tó ń wọlé iná náà lò wọ́n ti máa fi tírélà lóòdù wọn wá sísàlẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ìgbọ́n rí pé wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní yarí wọ́n tún design ọ̀nà míì tó fi wọlé wá gbogbo Niger nǹkan ọkàn yẹn gbogbo ọ̀nà Maiduguri nǹkan ọkàn yẹn ò safe tó jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ń gbà wọlé àwọn Sokoto àwọn Maiduguri nǹkan ọkàn gbogbo ẹ̀mí ò safe kò sí security kankan láwọn ọ̀nà yẹn fún Fúlàní ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ kó jẹ́ ráìsì ni wọ́n ń gbé wọlé kí àná ti máa má wọn yẹn ikú tó pẹ ẹlẹ́dìyẹ ni kò gbọ́dọ̀ pé léwúrẹ́ ń tán fi ṣe nìyẹn pé ikú tó pẹ ni tó gbé ráìsì no kò gbọ́dọ̀ affect àwọn Fúlàní tó wọlé kò dẹ̀ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o part 1 nìyẹn part 2 lórí the same ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní àti North yìí ní ọjọ́ Tuesday as I think Shehu Sani ó kọ sórí Twitter handle àti torí Facebook page ẹ̀ tó accuse àwọn northerners àtàwọn Fúlàní tí wọ́n kóra wọn lọ sọ́dọ̀ Buhari tí wọ́n lọ kí Buhari ẹni yìí kọ́ right up lásán ló kọ́ ń gbà ẹ̀ táwọn nọ́ọ̀tì ní kó mórí wá káwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ sọmọ nọ́ọ̀tì northerner lòun náà ọmọ Kaduna ni kódà ó ti ṣe senator tó represent wọn rí now báyẹn wá lóhùn rẹ́dì láti gbé ojú òun síta láti wá sọ ṣebí right up lásán lẹ́rí tẹ̀ pariwo òun fẹ́ ṣe audio visual nísìn táyé máa rí ohun tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn gangan wọ́n wá invited ní TVC ó wá lọ síbẹ̀ ohun tó kọ sínú pépà yẹn ó wá sọ jáde lóòótọ́ pé gbogbo ọ̀nà táwọn Fúlàní gbà sìn táwọn northerners gbà sìn ọ̀nà láti ọ̀sìtì Yorùbá tó wà ń bẹ̀ Buhari Tinubu tó wà ń bẹ̀ ni ó ní bọ̀ tó ń wà surprise pé fódìdí ọdún mẹ́jọ tí Buhari fi ṣèjọba ó ní kò sí òun ò rí Yorùbá kan tó jáde wá against ìjọba ẹ̀ òun ò dẹ̀ rí kí Yorùbá plan láti yọ kúrò nípò ó ní pé pàtàwọn wà ní power ó ní kí làwọn ṣe sí Nàìjíríà kí ni ìjọba Buhari kí ló ṣe fún Nàìjíríà tí kì bá ṣe kó tún bà yé Nàìjíríà jẹ́ ni kò tijú láti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ó sọ síta ó ní nísìnyí tí power wá bọ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ó ní criminal ó lóyìnbó yẹn òyìnbó yẹn tóbi jù làkàyè mi lọ ó sáṣọ òyìnbó yẹn bá kan kódà journalist tó interview ẹ̀ ìyẹn náà lóyìnbó ńlá kan tó lò criminally ó ní wọ́n wá kóra wọn Johnson láti hàn sí ti Yorùbá tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ó náà fẹ́ dá ogun sílẹ̀ ni máa ẹni wọ́n fẹ́ dá ogun sílẹ̀ ni wà tán wù yẹn ó ní bo ni wọ́n rò pé future Nàìjíríà máa lọ tírú ẹ̀ bá ṣẹlẹ̀ gbogbo ayé mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ọmọ wa tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Yorùbá sì ṣe sùúrù wàláì gbogbo ayé mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ti ṣetán no going back Yorùbá ṣetán àti lọ ó yẹ everybody gbogbo èèyàn ló mọ̀ kò ń ṣe news mọ́ àwọn tó kàn ṣe fapájánú ló fapájánú ayé gbogbo ayé ló mọ̀ pé any mistake in Nigeria pam Yorùbá máa pín ni gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ so the man is afraid Shehu Sani wà afraid pé níta iná tá náà ṣe yìí ẹlẹ́tọ́ isa ejò lẹ́ ń fọwọ́ kàn torí pé ó mọ̀ pé tí Yorùbá bá pínlẹ̀ ní wàláì mo tún pé wàláì ọ̀láì ìyá máa jẹ ìran náà tì ọlọ́wọ́n bá mọ̀ ẹ ti ń bá sọ pé omi ń jó pé iná ń jó lórí omi ẹ sọ fún mi pé kí n kérú ẹ̀ wá èmi tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ pé yà jẹ náà tèmi yé mi ìdí rèé ẹ jẹ́ ká wo internal generated revenue Nàìjíríà níbo ló ti ń wá south ni south east south west àwọn tó ń produce IGR fún Nàìjíríà nìyẹn kí Yorùbá wá dá yàpò ó dẹ̀ dá mi lójú gbangba pé bí Yorùbá bá yàpò wà láì yíbò àyàpò náà tà dá wà wọ́n lè dára wọn bọ́ ṣé wọ́n lè dára wọn bọ́ federalism tá a ṣe lò tá a padà sí regional ló sì ń fún northerners láyé jẹ torí lájà ṣíà ọ̀dọ̀ wọn náà ń fi sí and that is the more reason tí wọ́n fi lọ create local government tó pọ̀ fúnra wọn àti more state ńgbà tá ní 6 geopolitical zones ní Nàìjíríà tí ìran kan ṣoṣo kó mẹ́ta ìran Ìgbò lẹ́yọ kan àwọn ìjọ ṣèkìrí kankan ẹyọ kan south gbogbo àwa Yorùbá amẹ́yọ kan ṣùgbọ́n north wọ́n ní north east north central north west àbíkí náà tún ní àwọn nìkan ní 3 geopolitical zones gbogbo lẹ Yorùbá bá ṣe tó 1 gbogbo lẹ Ìgbò 1 gbogbo south 1 adẹni ajẹ wọn Nàìjíríà gbogbo àwọn nǹkan iná mọ̀ pé ó máa jájú àwọn lójú Shehu Sani you see when one has brain you will be able to see future it's not with these naked eyes but with your brain you prospect the future you know what is going to happen at the end of the tunnel maybe there is going to be light or there is going to be darkness Shehu Sani mọ̀ pé ibi táwọn northerners ń fi ọwọ́ bọ̀ yìí ó mọ̀ pé ìbànújẹ́ ló máa kẹ́yìn ẹ̀ fáwọn táwọn jẹ́ northerners he saw the future he knows for sure pé Yorùbá ti ṣe tán láti kọ ìwọ̀sí táwọn fi ń lọ̀ wá ó mọ̀ gbogbo wọn mọ̀ páwọn fi ìwọ̀sí lọ̀ wá ńgbàtẹ́lá jẹ́ wọn Nàìjíríà tí ìran kan ń jẹ gàba lórí ìran tó kù right up taka ní bíbá ìníjẹta nǹkan tí right up yẹn tẹnu mọ́ jù nìyẹn pẹ̀lú tẹ́ wà lóyìnbó ṣe é ti rírí káwọn different ethnic groups kí wọ́n wà bí kan kí ìran kan máa wá jẹ gàba lórí ìran kejì ó ní country yẹn á ti pín tipẹ́ Yorùbá dẹ̀ ṣe sùúrù di táìmù yìí akúrọ̀jú Yorùbá wàláhì á try gan kódà ìran yìí ó yẹ kó fún wa ní accolades that you are the best in the whole region of Nigeria, most peaceful region and most tolerant region Yorùbá ni. Lé àná mo gbọ́ pé àwọn gídígàn kú àwọn ipob mo gbọ́ pé wọ́n tún sì lọ dọ̀yà àwọn police station wọ́n pa wọ́n lọ pakúpa. Ìjọ́ òlẹ̀ yìí ti gbọ́ rí pé àwọn tó ń sọ Yorùbá nation wọ́n lọ invade police station àbí wọ́n lọ invade ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n àbí wọ́n lọ pa anybody. No, we are very very peaceful Yorùbás torí pé wọ́n kọ́ wa ní ilé ọgbọ́n wọ́n wò wá dàgbà nínú ìmọ̀ràn ọdún bó tiẹ̀ ṣe òun kò jẹ́ gbogbo Yorùbá kọ́ but we still have Yorùbás that are very very accommodating and has brain. Yorùbá gbà kan mọ́ra gan ẹ gbogbo sí yẹn bó ṣe tó èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ bá northerners dọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ wò táwọn Fúlàní ìbá wa dánwò ẹ̀wọ̀ ọmọ tí wọ́n gbé yẹn lọ bá wọn bí ẹ̀ ṣe kékeré ìlú ó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ọmọ Fúlàní wọ́n ti kọwọ́ ọ̀bẹ nìkan jà kọwọ́ fọwọ́ gún gbogbo lé lójú gbogbo Nigerians àti mọ̀ pé wàhálà kan ṣẹlẹ̀ pé Yorùbá jí Fúlàní gbé tó bá lọ́jọ́ dá way round ni but nísìn tó jẹ́ Fúlàní ló jí Yorùbá gbé kò sí tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí àti bóyá kí ní inferiority complex ló bá Yorùbá jà ní o bóyá omi tá à ń mu dàgbà yẹn ló jẹ́ ká rọ̀ ní o àti rọ̀ jù nínú community nínú the 6 geopolitical zone Yorùbá ló rọ̀ jù rírò díẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀nà náà ti fi cheat wà láyé gbogbo ọ̀nà náà ti fi cheat ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ta ló fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan tó dàjà dìde sọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹ wo tán ṣe fún òun náà tá àpá ni tí ìwà ẹ kó sàpá fúnra rẹ̀ ohun tí wọ́n ń ṣe fún yìí kí yẹ tó kú gan láti ẹ̀ ti fà létí mọ́ra pé tó bá fẹ́ kí n ṣe pè fún ẹ Sunday ó kí ló tún fẹ́ o ti lówó ẹ lọ́wọ́ làjókòó má bá wọn jà mọ́ má bá wọn ṣe wàhálà kan mọ́ tó bá jẹ́ mi mo bí ẹ tí ìyá yẹn á tún máa fọwọ́ gbá ọyàn tó bá jọyàn mi ló mú dàgbà wà lọ jókòó ẹ jẹ́jẹ́ ìyá tèmi lè ṣe kó tó kú níbi tẹ́rù máa bà wọ́n dé wà ti gbọ́ sàbúrì tó bá jẹ́ mi mo bí ẹ tó sì mọ́yàn mi dàgbà òwú ni ó máa fi sọ tó sì mọ́yàn mi dàgbà má là bá wọn mọ́ o má là bá wọn jà mọ́ o fẹ́ wàhálà mọ́ mi gbọ́dọ̀ gbóhùn ẹ mọ́ ṣéyàn àwa lóhùn ní gbọ́dọ̀ sí yẹ lẹ́nu bọ́tí ìyá Ìgbòho sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ́mọ ẹ̀ ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìran Yorùbá náà ni ìyá náà nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìran Yorùbá bó tiẹ̀ tí òun kò jẹ́ pé ẹ̀mí ìyá lọ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ láti wá ráwọn máa lè tán wá jáde tí wọ́n sọ kábàkábà lé lórí despite gbogbo wàhálà máa yẹn lé Yorùbá lórí mo tẹ̀ ráwọn tó sọ pé kọ́dà múlẹ̀mí lórí tèmi o ẹ Fúlàní bó àbá ẹ wá ṣe mọ̀ kó dààmú lé ẹ lórí ìgbọ̀n bá gbọ́ ọmọ yín tán lẹ́mú irú yín lẹ́ máa ń ké kiri social media gbọ́ wọ́n bá tó yín tàbọ̀ ọmọ yín kọ́dà múlẹ̀ lórí tèmi o èmi ò mọ̀ gbèrò rí o ìgbèrò lọ́ṣà ìgbèrò kìíní kan kọ́dà múlẹ̀ lórí tèmi máa wò wọ́n báyìí máa rẹ́rìn ìgbèrò tọ́ọ̀gì ẹ̀yin tẹ́ẹ̀kì ṣe tọ́ọ̀gì ní ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ o Fúlàní ló dé tó ń ṣe yóò yẹ lọ fèsì wọn Yorùbá Ọlọ́run ṣàánú ìran yẹn a ti rọ̀ jù Ọlọ́run dá wa níran tó jẹ́ pé ẹ ṣàrò pé gbogbo ìran tó kù ló ń fọmọ wọn létí mọ́ra Yorùbá nìkan ló ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ torí pé àwa la ní moral decredence àwa nìkan ni la ní ìgbàmọ́ra láti ní ẹ̀kọ́ lé àwa la lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lé tá a fẹ́ kọ́ lé kọ́mọ ṣe wá rí òyìnbó kan ní gentility without ability is a mother of stupidity ìgbàmọ́ra wa yóò wà tún gbọ́dọ̀ pọ̀ débi pa máa wá gọ̀ táàrẹ̀ ni tí ó dìde sọ pé ó ti tó bẹ́ẹ̀ tátùn máa wá takò kò stability mọ́nú gentility wa nìyẹn we must call a spade and we must be able to say no when we supposed to say no. Àsìkò tí tó fún wa láti sọ pé no more. Ní Yorùbá ṣe ń kígbe pé àwọn ò bá Nàìjíríà ṣe mọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àlọ́. Ní jọ́kì ní àná táwó lọ́wọ́ tí bàbá yẹn ṣe tán fi ṣe premier ní regional ṣe bá rí tí Yorùbá dà. Practical example nìyẹn fún wa láti fi mú sọ fún Nàìjíríà pé ní gbogbo ọ̀nà ní Yorùbá fi wà standing ju gbogbo ẹ̀nà tó kù lọ. In all ramifications Yorùbá wà standing torí pé ọmọ aládé ni wá, ẹni tó mọ ìtókàn ni wá, ẹni tó mọ tó ṣe ni wá. Sani jáde, Senator Sani jáde ó sọ̀rọ̀ pure kò wá tijúmọ́ rárá. Ẹ̀yin náà ti ẹ tákù mi dáadáa, a ní tẹ̀sí ò dáa, máa yẹn jáde sọ̀rọ̀ kó fi bò mọ́ right up lásán náà rí tán ní kó mórí wá káwọn bẹ́ẹ̀. This time around ó mọ́ kú agbójú ẹ̀ jáde pé mi ò ṣe mistake sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn o, ìṣe pé mo sọ lábẹ́lẹ̀ o, mo dìídì sọ ni o, torí pé mo mọ tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ bá lé Tinubu kó lórí oyè. Ó ń jà fún rẹ̀, wọ́n mọ̀ pé ń jà fáwọn. Ó mọ̀ pé tí Yorùbá bá bínú lọ pẹ́rẹ́ aláwọ̀ sọ̀mọ̀dì. Wọ́n jẹ àwọn onítíátà kan wọ́n ló jẹ sọ́nọ́mbà bíi ìsìyà. Wọ́n jẹ sọ́nọ́mbà because kí ló wà lù wọn. Àwọn tó ṣàgbẹ̀nu wọn irrigation farming náà ṣe desert. Most of their land are desert. Go ẹ̀pẹ̀ lásán ni. Àwọn ilẹ̀ tó wà barren tí ó wà fertile. Nǹkan mélòó ni wọ́n ń gbìn ní north tán kó wá bí? Ṣé bá ta tọ́ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀ sí ní gbìn nígbà bá yé àwọn àgbẹ̀ wa jẹ́ tán. Ṣá máa depend lórí wọn tẹ́lẹ̀ ni. A depend lórí wọn rí náà. Rárá o, a depend lórí wọn rí. And as a matter of fact, tí Yorùbá bá lọ, ṣe báwọn náà ta màálù. Ta ni major consumer màálù? Láyé ẹ̀kọ́ tìmí lẹ́niwìá, Fúlàní kì í jẹ màálù. Ẹ̀kọ́ tìmí níbikíbi. Lẹ́yìn kan mọ́ ọyàn màálù wàrà, ẹ̀jẹ̀ rí ẹran màálù lẹ́nu Fúlàní. Ṣé tí Yorùbá bá wá lọ, ta ló ń pẹran? Àti Yorùbá àti Ìgbò àwa là ń bá wọn rẹran, àwa là ra màálù wọn. Tí gbogbo wa bá strike léde pé ààrẹ ẹran Fúlàní mọ́ láyé, pé ara màálù àti ẹ̀jẹ̀ màálù mọ́ àtẹran Fúlàní àti Fúlàní kan, gbogbo Yorùbá àjẹ màálù mọ́, ẹ rí pé wọ́n á kùtà. Kódà àárín street báyìí lẹ máa rí wọn tó máa dọ̀bálẹ̀ síbẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àìlèkó wa ni, àkálẹ́nu wa lè kò ní ká ní ìṣìmáyà kùlù, ká ní àsopọ̀ ẹ̀mí. Ẹ̀bà rí tí ìbá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Yorùbá, ẹ̀bà sì rí tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Fúlàní. Àkọ́kọ́ náà láì lé wọn fúnra wọn máa sá lọ ìlú wọn. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni pé àbámọ̀ máa wá dé bá wọn torí pé ibi gangan ni mákẹ́ẹ̀tì wọn wà. Àní Fúlàní kì í jẹ màálù, Haúsá nìkan lẹ máa rí màálù lẹ́nu ẹ̀ lè rí lẹ́nu Fúlàní. Tó ráwọn ìyàwó wọn ni làwọn tá à ń pa yẹn. Àwọn náà bá sùn most of the times. Fẹ́ á gbọ́ pé Fúlàní àyàn kàṣáánú Fúlàní pa màálù rárá o, láíláí wọ́n á sọ fún ẹ pé rárá bó dìbò òjọ́. But táwa Yorùbá bá wá yarí mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́, táwa pín tábà wọn ṣe mọ́, táwa ra màálù wọn mọ́ kílẹ̀ rò wá ṣẹlẹ̀. Gbogbo fúlégé wọn yà lọlẹ̀ ni. Ìyẹn ni Shehu Sani rí ló mọ̀ pé ẹ kọ́wọ́ sísá ejò aṣán yìí lórí tètè ń pariwo fún wọn. Wọ́n rò pé ń ṣèkà wọn ni, wọ́n mọ̀ pé ń ṣàánú wọn ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ́rọ̀ ṣe rí nìyẹn. Any attempt láti gbàjọba kó lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá, ó máa divide the country immediately ni. Torí mo jẹ́rìí Yorùbá tèmi mọ̀tọ́ wà ń tàǹsì. Láwọn ọmọ oró tí wọ́n ti fẹ́ jẹ́ àti wà lórí ẹ̀mí wọn. Wọ́n á yarí tán pátápátá ni pé rubbish. Ẹ wo ìyà tí wọ́n fi jẹ àwọn Lady K&Co láyé Buhari náà. Ìwọ̀sìn ńlá ni fún Yorùbá. Bẹ́tà gbàmọ́ra sọ̀rọ̀. Àwọn ládéládé lóyè àwọn tó tún kódà tún bú Ìgbòho ni. Ó ṣe yẹ kó rí nìyẹn. ẹ̀jẹ̀ máa jọ fàájò. Sọ torí ìdí èyí mo gbé fídíò yẹn wá, mo fẹ́ kí a jọ gbọ́ Senator Shehu Sani. Táwọn northerners bá gbọ́ ó yẹ kán lọ máa pokùnso kọ̀ọ̀kan ni. Torí máa yẹn bó fún wọn kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀, kò fi bò rárá, kò dẹ̀ tìjú. Ó dẹ̀ fi hàn wọ́n pé òótọ́ lòun sọ, tán lòun sọ yẹn o. Newspaper fake kọ́, kì í ṣe fake social media lẹ́rí ohun tóun sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Go and let us listen to Shehu Sani.
Wrong to say that the North has been worse off under President Muhammadu Buhari than at any other time in the history of Nigeria. The political forces that are today coming together to see how they can return to power, especially those from the northern part of Nigeria, are simply more interested in power than actually using power for the interests of our own people. In the last 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, we have seen how the North was systematically destroyed by the ineptitude and incompetence of both the person who was at the seat of power at that time and the courtiers around him. First of all, the most important issue we face in the northern part of Nigeria is insecurity, and that became worse. In the northwestern part of Nigeria, in most parts today, rural path of the northwestern part of Nigeria, many of our people can't access their farms. Many have resorted to pay levies and taxes to bandits in order for them to go to their farms. Many schools in rural areas have closed down during the period of Muhammadu Buhari administration. We know that Chibok happened under Jonathan, but look at the statistics under Buhari. Federal School of Agri-Mechanization, Kaduna, was attacked. Over 200 students were kidnapped, and they remained in the captivity for over 2 months. Greenfield University in Kaduna was attacked. Students were kidnapped, and many were killed, and parents have to sell everything they have to rescue their children from the hands of terrorists. Government Science College, Kagara in Niger State, Government Secondary School, Kankara in Katsina State, where the former president came from, Sangaya School in Tegina in Niger State, Bethel Baptist House School in Kaduna. All these things happen. We have seen attack on Federal Government Girls College, Yauri, where female students were kept in captivity for over 2 years. And we have seen trillions being budgeted and funded for security. And he kept service chiefs who failed. He kept on extending their tenure, and the North was worse off. At a certain time in Zabarmari, somewhere in Borno State, about 50 farmers were slaughtered. In Kaduna, the same thing. Slaughtering of people, raping women, extortion for ransom became a way of life in northern part of Nigeria. Under Buhari, you can't move from Kaduna to Abuja. Kidnappings and killings happen every day. In the last 1 year, it happened 1 or 2 times. You remember the train incident that was attacked. The parents have to sell almost everything they have to get. So that was the life that we came from. That was someone from the north who was in power. And unfortunately, even all those who were heading security apparatus were all from northern part of Nigeria. So they got power, they wasted the opportunity. All that came after they left office was one story of embezzlement, corruption, and industrial scale looting of the treasury of the country that happened under that administration. So I don't see how, for any reason, that those elites from our part of the country will say that we have failed. Let's give a chance for another person. If you remember, the thought of President Muhammad Buhari, thought of President Olusegun Obasanjo, of bringing someone from Niger Delta to preside over the affairs of the country has seriously addressed the problem of that region. Even if it has not addressed the problem of that region, at least they knew that their own was in power, and this is what he has done, and the country moved forward. So it is not constitutional, it is not within our law, it's not within democratic realities that people should not aspire for power. But when you are talking of the unity, the stability, and the continuous existence of Nigeria, I think it's important for those who have ambition from northern part of Nigeria to step it down. The North has a moral right. It is more strongly footed in, with a legitimate pedestal to ask for a return of power in 2031 or 2032. That is the right thing to do. But at this time, all these forces were the same people that mobilized the same people and before 2014, and now they thought that they can bring back that kind of charm and then see how they can push him forward. But what they don't know was the fact that the people, the North, even though there are a lot of gullible ones that may go along with that, question will be asked, when you were in power, what did you do? We had our own on the throne, and he did nothing, and we were worse off. So what else do you want us to do? Do they want us to go back to that point where President Muhammad Buhari will endorse a northern candidate, and then the South will say this is where they go? Where will Nigeria be? So I think
that's right.
He too, as someone who has been through civil war, as someone who presided over the affairs of this country, I should be very careful with this kind of people. If not, they will both get him and the whole country in trouble.
Right, Senator, you also noted that the South never challenged the Buhari's government for 8 years, which some might interpret as a sign of weakness or acquiescence. How do you think the South approach to politics has contributed to the current state of affairs, and what lessons do you think can be learned from their experience, especially given data from the 2023 presidential election showing that South accounted for over 60% of President Bola Tinubu's total votes?
Well, first of all, it should be appreciated that the North in 2023 came out en masse and even rejected one of theirs, which is the prominent one, which is Atiku Abubakar. He is a person who has the capacity, the competence, and the experience also to lead Nigeria. There's no doubt about it. I don't know of any person who has been so long in the struggle for power and who has gone through that experience like him. But if the North has decided that this is the person who they wanted to take over power, for example, a state like Zamfara State voted for Aswaju Tinubu, and Niger State voted for Aswaju, Kaduna State voted for Atiku. But now, if people who ordinary people can say this is where they belong, and I think it is important to allow the process to come to an end. 4 years is nothing in the history of a nation if you are talking about the length of time. But the fact is that for the whole 8-year period of President Muhammad Buhari as a president of this country, the South has not presented any serious and formidable challenger and rally around him for sectional reason and say, this person must eject President Muhammad Buhari out of power. But this is where we are heading to as far as the North is concerned. Anybody can deny this, but I believe that time and posterity will prove me right, that this is their own intent and this is the problem we are going to face. But I have to caution them on the crisis and the problems that will generate. It's going to be a serious problem for Nigeria, where you have a candidate that is endorsed by one section of the country and opposed by a section of the country. And I said it in clear terms, that allow the South to tidy up and then complete their tenure from 2027 to 31 or 32, I don't know. And then from there, the North can stand on a strong moral footing and demand for power. You can see revelations after revelations. The northern masses have simply been used and been abandoned for 8 years of Buhari administration. I can't recall a certain time where there is even acknowledgement of the common people on the ground who toiled, who fought, who struggled, who died to remove PDP at the power and bring back Buhari in 20. Never even a statement was ever issued for 8 years. I come from a state where I knew of many families that have lost their loved ones, are fighting for Buhari. It happened in Bauchi, it happened in Kano, it happened in Sokoto. The northern masses from 2003 to 2015 were so fanatical. They are ready to die for this person to be president of Nigeria. Then he became president of Nigeria. And we thank God that he became, because if he has not been president, only God knows what will happen in this country. So he became, and this was the result. So the same northern elite that rallied around him and ensured his failure and the destruction of his government and also its inability to deliver to the people, especially from northern part of Nigeria, are now still coming together and say this is what they want. And I say the forces are different. There are people who want political power and are ready to, and I don't care whether it goes to South, they will certainly contest, like the candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar. There are others who are disgruntled because they wanted to be part of this administration and then they lost out, like El-Rufai. And then there are others who believe that this is the right opportunity, whom they believe that the Aswaju government is going after them. They are so-called the Buharis who are in his government, who simply extorted and plundered the country in the name of being loyalists of President Muhammadu Buhari. So all these forces are coming together and see how they can work against this. And I don't think this is in the interest of time. The worst thing will be for the South to come together and say, this is the person we want or nothing. And where will the country be in that kind of situation? And that brings, allow, they have enough time. They may not die before the 2031 or 32. They should wait. When the time comes, even people like me will say that the South has finished its own term and that power should go back to the North.
So that brings me to my next question, which, because I'm wondering how you think President Tinubu's government should now respond to this perceived plot, especially given his campaign promises to unite the country and address regional disparities. And what advice would you give to him, considering his administration's initial efforts to address some of the North's developmental challenges, such as the recent allocation of 1.4 billion naira for the Lake Chad Basin refiling project?
Well, there is no better way a leader can respond to critics and plotters than performance. Delivery of services and also delivery of promises and pledges that were made. But I can see that on the matter of insecurity, which is the most important issue in northern Nigeria today, kidnapping is going on, extortion for ransom is going on, people are still being killed. But if you are going to compare the progress being made in the last 1 year to what we had for 8 years, you can see that we are actually moving forward. I have been one of the most consistent speakers when it comes to the issue of insecurity in northern Nigeria. When I was in the National Assembly, hardly a day passes by without me raising up my hand and seeking permission from the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, to raise issues of security as far as my own constituency and the Northwest is concerned. And guess what? The most vehement opposition to my own presentations have been northern senators. At a certain time, a senator from Katsina even stood up and challenged me to them. They were silent when Buhari was in power, and our people were being killed, our people were being massacred, our women have been raped, terrorists and bandits unleash mayhem against our people because their own interest is protecting the image of the president. The image of Buhari matters more to them than the killing of our people. And I think this is the issue which I have raised, that when I see people from my part of the country raising the issue of insecurity today, I ask them, where were you for the 8 years of Buhari administration? They kept quiet out of ethnic, religious, and sectional solidarity, because the person in power comes from us. He is our own, and as such, whatever happens, we shouldn't talk, we shouldn't criticize him, and we shouldn't expose him for the thought that doing that will be denigrating him. Take, for example, our state like Kaduna State. Killings and kidnappings are going on in the northern part of Kaduna and southern part of Kaduna. But the whole country don't know about that of northern part of Kaduna. For the fact that most people who are supposed to speak out from the northern, our own northern house of Fulani, northern part of Kaduna, decided to keep quiet, because to them, to speak out will be destroying or damaging or disparaging the image of President Muhammad Buhari. But the legislators from the southern part, they are senators, they are members of the House of Reps, and they are religious leaders, were vocal in telling the world that our people are being killed, our people are being massacred, our people are being kidnapped by terrorists and bandits. So for someone who is outside of Kaduna, will think that terrorists only attack people of southern Kaduna, simply because the people from northern part don't want to talk. But I don't believe in that rule, and as such, I get that issues. So President Bola Tinubu can respond to his critics in the north by performing, by also addressing the issues which they have raised and allaying their fears, which is very important. First of all, he has done a good job with the AKK. The pipeline project is going on, and that is a very significant development. And then secondly, on security matters, top leaders of this bandits group in Niger State and Kaduna State, and actually part of Zamfara and Kaduna State, were actually eliminated. And credit goes to Nuhu Ribadu for this, whatever people are saying. But he's doing a very good job in that aspect of it. And the other issues has to do with the Pulako project, which is led by the vice president. I learned that about 40 to 50 billion naira was allocated, or I don't know the facts, to address the problems of nomads and the Fulani herdsmen, to see how they can be resettled, empowered, for them to keep the issue of banditry and herdsmen violence aside and pick up a new life for themselves. These are all issues. The economic empowerment program that is also going on, I think is something that is worth doing. So if President Bola Tinubu will address the problem of insecurity in the north, he will silence his critics, which of course there are steps that are being made now, which I have seen. There will be light at the end of the day, hopefully. And secondly, he should address the economic issues, because before Buhari left, the World Bank statistics have shown that over 138 million people in Nigeria live below the poverty line. About 80% of them come from northern part of Nigeria. What he can do to fund the Al-Majiri project and also address the problem of out-of-school children, these are all fundamental issues. And also, something that will go both to the north and the whole south of the country, which they were doing about the issue of autonomy for local government, so that they can get their funds directly and use it to the grassroots, I think is something that should be emphasized and supported by the government strongly. So for them, and he shouldn't waste time to eject anybody out of his government whom he felt that he's not actually delivering. Not like the former president, where you will keep someone holding one ministry for 8 years, or someone holding a parastatal for such a long time. When his tenure expires, it extended to 2 years, and then to 1 year, to 6 months, and then to 2 weeks. And by then keeping inept people in the position of authority. So I believe that he should respond to them by performance, and also by making sure that those that actually worked for him and supported him, who meant well for the country, are also being used to deliver the dividend of democracy to those who voted for him, and even those who didn't vote for him. I think that is what he should do for now. By the idea of saying occasionally he throw a statement supporting Tinubu, that he is right, he is doing the right thing, people should be patient with him. If you have been in politics for a very long time, you know that what you hear or what you even see may not be the reality. Let the time comes, and then you will see where he belongs. But for now, he's accommodating all those persons who are coming, and they hope to use him. But whether he will agree to be used for that kind of thing is going to be a subject of time. And I believe that when the time comes, his positions will have to be very clear. And for anyone, even I that was not in the campaign trail of APC, I know that Aswaju never became president because President Muhammadu Buhari or some forces wanted him to. I know how he struggled to get through the primaries and then the election. And at a certain time, even the president at that time has to be begged to attend the campaigns. All these things I say are available on the internet. We live in an IT age where you can simply Google and find out what has happened if you have forgotten. So for now, I believe the forces are coming together and they are getting support, and they are also talking to each other and reaching out to where they have not reached out. And there will be a time to which they will resurrect themselves. They will decide for a political party that they want to bring this a unified candidate if the main opposition doesn't seem to be favorable. And the whole thing is, how can they mobilize the masses of the North to go against the present president? And the danger of it is it's going to backfire, because it may not going to be simply about a president, President Tinubu. It's going to be about a section of a country. And by doing that, you will simply incite and instigate others to also think the same. And that will be bad for Nigeria and bad for our future.
BGI TV yìí mo fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́, ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n, eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ, tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. BGI TV mo fẹ́ máa wò, ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ ti ń gbèsè mo fẹ́ gbọ́, ètò lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n wà lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan, ìròyìn tó kojú òṣùwọ̀n àtàwọn ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́ fi kọ́gbọ́n, eré wọlé fún tẹ̀rù tọmọ, tèwe tàgbà ẹ má fi para. Àjànàkú kọjá mórí nǹkan fèrè, bàbá rere káwí parí. BGI TV, we are the pace setters. Bàbá gbàgede ìmọ̀ tẹlifíṣọ̀n station tí dòjú.